This painting here represents both the masculine and the feminine potentiality, and in the background we have two mountains. So inside these mountains are these two descendants, which is actually how the Māori expresses ourselves. When we introduce ourselves, we will say such and such is our mountain, such and such is our river, such and such is our tribe, such and such is our ancestor house, and so on and so forth. We don't actually start by saying, I am so and so. We start from the larger cosmos to which we claim descent, and then work our way towards the human beings, the last born of creation. And I've got here these big hearts, because there's something I've grown up with, this saying that to strive to be really remembered in your community, in your tribe, is you would want to be a person who is known for having a heart as big as houses, so everyone could fit in. And so that says a lot about hospitality and generosity. And perhaps we've kind of gone a little off balance with this idea, and I don't know, but I've actually heard from one of our Native American sisters who said, in the context of colonial imperialism, we are nations of givers who are meeting with nations of takers. And this we have had to actually learn different ways of encounter with. We wouldn't want to say that everybody in our tribes today necessarily adheres to this notion of hospitality, because of course we've all been affected by these other types of ways of being. But in this particular depiction, I've also added in, you can't quite see it here, there's another proverb, mā te wahine me te whenua ka ngaro ai te tangata. And what it basically says is, without women and land, people will perish. Okay, so it's really saying, value your women, value the land, because without them, people will cease to exist. And the two hearts there are that when we share, when we come of one heart, and you see in the red heart down there, another heart is beginning to form. And part of letting go, I suppose, or I think people call this decolonisation, I don't quite like the word myself, but when we start to heal our hearts from the hurt that's come about through this imperialism and colonialism, our old heart breaks, so a new door is created for a new heart to grow, and more rooms are built, so more hearts can come along. So that's why that heart has got this other one beginning to grow out of it. Now on this woman here we have our moko kauai is called. Kauai is actually your chin. And the moko is the tattoo of the Māori people, the style of tattoo. Now what happens with these facial markings is that they're actually, traditionally they were bestowed on you by your tribe. And they were bestowed because of your service to the community. And you usually were was given to a person who would dedicate their whole life to the well-being of their communities. And they do that by being active in the life of their marae, which is the ancestor complex, welcoming visitors, sharing their knowledge, supporting young people, taking care of elders. Somebody like that would earn the right to wear these markings. And these markings were often, symbols from the sea, from the ocean, the water signs, which really depict the role that women have as the tides of life. They bring life forward through the lunar tides. But also they could show the woman's rank in that society, that tribe. whether she was of the chief class or ariki class, what her left side is usually the mother's genealogy, right side is usually the father's genealogy, or she might incorporate something about her partner now. It's all down to a story that tells the genealogy of that particular individual, that unique individual. Here we have also again some of our carving symbols used to depict our descent from the divine cosmos of Io Matua Kore, which is our word for the Creator, many words. And I'll just say the first part. Io is the short version for the name of the Creator, and E represents the sun, and O represents the moon. You know, when we put A in the front of that, we get Io. The A brings the two one upon the other, which we say night upon day is the eclipse, and that's the word of the Creator. And out of that we get the world in rhythmic patterns in the woven universe that continue to unfold. And what we try to do within our own learning is to emulate that, those generative things in the rhythmic patterns of the unfolding universe. So we say that processes are constantly unfolding. They're cyclical, so they go through these highs and lows. They're not always high, they're not always low. So you will emerge out of something difficult eventually. You can't live your life totally on a high at all times. It's not real. Death must have its time. There must be a dying back, and a regrowth, and a growth, and a maturing, and then another dying back. And this can happen inside processes like projects, like learning, whether small or large. And that's simply accepted as that's the way creation happened.